my friends, and welcome to another video. Today it's all about this thing, the Zhiyun Smooth Q3. And here we have it already. That's how it looks. It comes with a tripod stand and yeah, it's pretty handy, very lightweight, and it has a lot of features I'm going to show you today. If you know this channel for longer already, you know that all of this started with smartphone videography. And to be a bit more specific, I had my iPhone 5S with the DJI, what was it? DJI Osmo Mobile, the very first one. And it was fun to play around with this, and this got me more into videography. And today, a few years later, I got this from Zhiyun. And I'm happy to test this out because I want to see what has changed in the last few years with the smartphone gimbals, and did they improve the smartphone videography game. Yes. Alright, first let's talk about the ergonomics and the gimbal in general. So it comes very simple, very lightweight, and it has a few features I want to show you. So we're starting off with the tripod. It's really handy. It gives you the opportunity to hold the gimbal with two hands or place it down very easily. Second thing I like a lot is you have this screw over here. If you loosen that up, you can fold up the gimbal to make it work. Next thing is these axes, like the rotate axis here and the rotation axis over here, these are locked. There are small plastic notches which allow you to lock these, which is pretty cool because usually these gimbals, they are flipping all around very crazy. Alright, this is how the gimbal looks if everything is powered up, and I'll show you what you can do with this. So first of all, you start off in the vertical mode. It helps a lot to create story videos or something similar. If you press the trigger button back here, like triple press, then it changes the orientation, which is pretty cool and very handy if you want to take landscape shots, then you can use this orientation. Or if you're in for a quick story video, then you can press it triple, and there you go. The next feature was the most surprising one for me. If you have a closer look, I'll turn this over. If you check this thing out, that's actually a light built into the gimbal, which is perfect for vloggers, for example. There's a button on the side here. If you press it longer, then it activates the light. And yeah, it's pretty handy because sometimes you're in a dark environment and it can give you a nice face light. And even if you press this multiple times, you can change the intensity of the light, which is very cool. But there's one more thing. So actually, this kit, this gimbal is done for vloggers. So they put in an extra light for vloggers. But what I didn't do is to include something like a microphone, because that's, in my opinion, a very important part. So maybe for the next version, Zhiyun, you can include this into your new smartphone gimbal. There are a few more things this gimbal can do. It has a joystick over here which allows you to manually sort out the direction of the gimbal, and it has a wider and tighter switch which allows you to digitally zoom in or zoom out, which is pretty cool for the newer cameras because there you have multiple cameras inside of your phone and it works with that. But the very best feature is the mode button, because it allows you to switch from modes. Right now we're in the pen follow mode. What this does is it locks the tilting axis, and we can change it to lock mode, for example. Now it entirely locks the axis and keeps the phone always in one direction. Next mode is the follow mode, which works very easily, like and follows you in every direction, and which is really handy for every type of video you're trying to do, because you can easily tilt up, pan, and whatever you want to do with the camera. The very last mode is one of the coolest modes for me personally, because it is the POV mode. I know it from other Zhiyun gimbals already, and personally I use this the most because it also enables the roll axis. Very cool. You've already seen it in the intro of this gimbal. I've used this a lot because for me it gives the opportunity to do very dynamic shots. Just doing these whoosh sounds, and yeah, it feels a bit like a lightsaber. Alright guys, I took this thing to the city for a real world test, and I also let my wife Denise test this out, and she's an absolute amateur in this field in videography, so she doesn't know anything about it, and I gave her this gimbal to experience it for herself and to give me some feedback about it, because most of you who are thinking about buying this gimbal, you're not doing this for your living. So first of all, let's start with the cons of her feedback. She told me the motion following is very fast, so it is not easy to use this gimbal and as a first experience, because it is not super smooth and it follows your movement pretty quick. So there should be an option with sensitivity. So if you pan to the right or to the left, it should be able to go slower or faster, however you want it to be in the settings. And of course, handling a gimbal is not an easy thing. So if you buy this, don't think that you immediately take the most smooth and cinematic shots, because it will take lessons and practice to really get the most of these gimbal skills. One more con we also noticed is that the build of this thing don't allow it to 100% move into every direction, because if you want to shoot in a lower angle, yeah, you see what's happening? Alright, let me show you what I mean. If you want to shoot a low angle scene just like this, then you can't, because as you can see, your phone doesn't support the camera to be like that because of the build of this gimbal. But let's talk about the good things of this gimbal, because there are a lot, and I'm very fascinated that even if you don't use the Zhiyun app, but your phone is paired to the gimbal, then you can press the red button in the normal phone app and it will work with the Bluetooth connection, which is mind-blowing to me, because in the past this wasn't possible. I'm not sure about the latest firmwares of the other gimbals on the market, but for me it was pretty cool to have the red button for recording working even in the normal camera app. Now let's talk about the app, because this delivers you a ton of features whether you need it or not. Now we're in the Zhiyun Cami app, that's how they call it. You have different modes such as video, pano, and slow motion, dolly zoom. The time-lapse feature is also pretty cool, because you can place the gimbal anywhere on your tripod and then use the time-lapse feature for motion time-lapses. What it does is you can create a path. So for example, we start over here and it should finish over here, and this is our ending point. The duration is 1 minute. We press go and it will start automatically to record the time-lapse in the time frame you wish. Hyperlapse is also pretty cool, because it allows you to make a moving time-lapse basically. So you hold the gimbal all the time and you're focusing on one object, and for example you walk around one of the big buildings in the city and you keep the building always in center. You can do this with the tracking function and then it will look pretty cool in the end. As you can see, there are tons of features in this app, and I won't go into detail with all of those, but there's one more thing I found a bit hilarious. I'll show you a bit what I mean with this, and it's a Glamour filter. Right now we have it on automatic. This is how it looks like, and yeah, personally I'm not a big fan of this. You can even choose to make your eyes larger, and let's make it extreme. Let's see how far we can go. I mean, that's really interesting. But I mean, this is extreme, okay? Let's do it on automatic. I'm sure there are people who are going to use this, and for some of you this might be a very interesting feature. All in all, this is a pretty cool gimbal, super lightweight, easy to operate, and it gives you tons of features, especially the POV mode I'm a big fan of. And I can totally recommend it to use it. And if you're looking for a good smartphone gimbal, I think this is a good choice. If you want to see more of my videos and more of my content, check one of these videos out. By the way, that's the very first smartphone gimbal video I've uploaded on YouTube. And I think it is a few years old, but it's pretty cool. Check it out. Until then, goodbye.